Welcome to another episode of Demystifying Gay Porn. My name is IK Grande. I'm your host, and if you've watched gay porn in the past 12 years, I've definitely helped you get off. Today, my guest is an international porn star, international award-winning porn star, who is also a content producer. He's worked with a lot of different studios. I met him about, a year and a half ago already?
It was in the December of 2017.
Okay, so December 2017, we shot a little bit.
2018, sorry, that was in New York.
Yes.
Oh my gosh, where's the time going?
March 2018. Please help me welcome Drew Dixon.
Hello.
How are you?
Yeah, I'm really good, thank you.
Yeah? It's been a minute. I've been trying to get you on this show for a minute.
I know. Alas, here we are.
Yeah. So we are here in Vegas, in fabulous Las Vegas, yet again, right? But you've been everywhere now. You've been,
I know, right?
all over the place. Tell us what
I'm on the run from the law. That's right. Don't tell the authorities.
You have. How long has your porn career? When did you start your porn career?
I started in September 2017. That was my first scene.
Okay.
And then. And I did a couple at the back end of 2017, and then I did a few more in 2018, and it kind of really built momentum at the back end of 2018. And then, come October 2018, I gave up the day job and I went full time into the industry.
Okay. What has your life been like since?
It's been pretty busy.
Yeah.
Yep. I live on planes.
Planes and hotels?
Hotels, planes, hostels, friends' beds, friends' sofas, my family sofas, anywhere I can. Sometimes I just sleep in an Uber. No, I'm pretty good. I do get plenty of sleep.
Well, good. What can you tell me, in your career, right? In your just starting career, because you have a good amount of time to develop into so much more. You've already become, you're an award-winning performer. Tell us what award you've won.
So back in October last year, I won Best Bottom at the Berlin Hustler Ball Awards, which was great. It was really, really good. Last year I had nominations for the Prowler Awards, XBiz Awards, and of course Hustler Ball. And of course I received nominations for this year's Straight Up Gay Porns. That was last weekend. The Cybersockets and the Gay VNs.
How was that?
It was a lot of fun. It was really, really good. It was my first Straight Up Gay Porns and my first Cybersockets. So they're two very different events. But it's great because, especially after Christmas and New Year and the chaos of everything, it's good to get all of us in the same room at the same time, and not only just catch up with friends, but
You got to meet Kathy Griffin?
I didn't know. Although I presented an award. So as she was walking off stage, I walked on stage, and we kind of like waved at each other. Me and her, we go way back. A wave, and that was it. But she was great. She did a really, really good job. So I'm really,
cool.
Really proud they had her.
So you had the XBiz Awards, just recently, right? The other day as well.
That was in LA. I didn't go to that one.
Okay.
No.
The Cybersockets.
Cybersockets was on Monday. Yes. Yeah. So I had two nominations for that, but it was a little bit more, it was more for the industry, like, best fetish site, best Asian site, best black site. There's so many sites.
Yeah.
Who knew?
Yeah, I did see that. Best cam, best a whole bunch
exactly.
of everything. Okay.
So it was a little, I think we all agreed it was a little bit more, like there was a weight off our shoulders because we were kind of just supporting the directors, the producers, the people that are putting us there. So, it was good fun.
Weight off your shoulders. Is it pressure? Is it a lot of pressure for you guys?
Yeah, I think it is. It's, you almost get led into a false sense of security with these awards.
Really? Okay.
I feel so because, you're taken to Twitter and you're actively promoting like the nominations, because there's a lot of fan nominations that the fans can nominate for. So you're actively pushing and promoting it. And then it's very easy for them. The fans are saying, oh, we love you. You should win. We think, I've got your support, this, that, and the other. And you really feel built up, and it's a great feeling. But you have to remember that actually it's, that it doesn't determine what that result's going to be like on the night. So you kind of go into it thinking, oh, I've got this.
And they can vote more than once. Like every person
do.
can vote more than once.
But of course, they're your followers, they're your fans. They're the ones that are watching your work, and you have to remember that there's, of course, all of us, we've all got our own kind of like, and a lot of people that are following you and support you also support other people as well. So you just don't know what's going to happen on the night. So I almost bet against myself. I've actually coming up to the GVNs on Monday, I've got all the awards and I'm on my phone, I've noted down who I think will win. So it becomes, it's easier to bet against yourself.
Okay.
And it's just a way of managing your expectations.
I think also when it comes to these awards, I've yet to be nominated. I think I'm nominated for one group scene for Champ Robinson's site and for Raw Fuck Club before I left. So that's cool, but they're both in the same category. I just think it's fun. But then again, I'm also not in the scene. So I'm behind the scenes. But you're a great performer I think we've worked together 2 or 3 times at this point.
Yeah.
And the first image I had of you was I was editing a scene for Raw Fuck Club that they did with you called Group Fuck Boys, I think.
That was right. Yeah.
And one of the last things that I saw was, it's you and there's a whole bunch of guys and everybody's done. And you turn around and you say, in your British accent, all right, who's next? It's just, any more?
I should have gone full on Oliver Twist. I'm like, more, please. Can I have some more? A little bit more in my ass, please.
So I remember seeing that and being like, who is this guy? He's great. So that was a lot of fun.
I'm a hungry bottom. What can I say?
I think performance-wise, honestly, if you're up for what at the GVNs?
So I'm up for best newcomer and also favorite newcomer. So there are 2 different things. Favorite newcomer, the favorite categories are nominated by the fans, and the best side of things are nominated by or voted for the industry. So best newcomer, which is industry nominated, and also favorite newcomer, which is fan voted. Favorite cock.
That's always fun, right?
Yeah, who doesn't like a dick? Do you know what I mean? We didn't have dick, we wouldn't be here, would we? So I have dick for breakfast. I digress. And also best fetish scene, which I'm really, really excited about.
What scene was it?
It was a bromo scene.
Okay.
Which I filmed with Bo Sin, and we did it in Montreal back in August. And Isa, she calls herself the lesbian director because she is in fact a lesbian director. She's not lying. She's a lesbian. But she's lovely and she's very artistic. And it was for Bromo, and I'm really, really proud of the work. I'm really, really proud of that scene. And when I really look at it and I break it down, it does play on more than just there's fisting in there, there's water sports, there's this whole dom sub role. That isn't just dominant and the submissive, but it's filmed like between a wall. So he's fucking me and my legs are spread up on against a wall type thing. So I can't see him, he can't see me. So there's almost like a mind control over it as well. So when you really break it down, it really it touches on many different elements of fetish, as opposed to it just being what you expect, like bondage, tied up, blindfold, and fucked kind of thing.
So, now that we're into fetishes, one of the things that I've noticed as I've been doing these interviews is, a lot of models and a lot of just people have different kind of fetishes, and I've learned so many of them recently. I know that you like, water sports. I know that you're into fisting. What else? What do you have in that mind of yours?
So, do you know what the real big one for me? I'm not sure if you call it as a fetish or more of a kink, but I'm an exhibitionist.
Okay.
So, and this is where it all started for me. Like the exposure. Like there's a mind element of it where that's what gets me to my cum shots whenever I'm filming. That there's people around me, that there's cameras on me, and the fact that it's going to get produced and it's going to be out there for the world to see. And like there's like the vulnerability of it. Like it's like for a lot of people, sex is still really intimate, and people are shy from it, and I want to be exposed from it. So,
where do you think that comes from?
I don't know. It's funny because it's just come a full 180 in the last couple of years. I've never been like it. I was always the guy in the changing room that wanted to be all covered up type thing. And then when, it was around 2015, years before I went into the industry, and I got onto Instagram, and that's when Instagram, you could be a little bit more risque and not get banned. or have hate mail from Instagram head office. Other social medias are available. So
It's true.
it's true, yeah. Not Tumblr. So, God rest its soul.
Tumblr was amazing.
What am I on about? What am I talking about? So yeah, I would find I would like post like a topless photo, and like I'd never used to do that. But you follow other people, and other people are doing it, and of course it naturally rubs off on you. And that's what social media can do. It can be a positive in one respect, because it really helped this self-discovery. But at the same time, obviously, we all know social media people can get into their own heads, and they see what other people have, and they're like, oh, well, they've got these amazing lives. But of course, we only show the best bits, don't we? Yeah. And the dick pics and the aspects, you know.
So when you were a kid, right? Well, let's talk a little bit about growing up in England, right?
Yeah.
So you grew up in England. What part of England?
So I was born in Birmingham.
Okay.
Yes.
I know a little bit about, I only know a little bit about England from what I see in British TV shows.
Right. Well, there's not really much filmed in Birmingham for a good reason, because their accent's a little strong. So it's
strong on the trashier side, or strong on the more uppity side? Because that's the reason I've seen Little Britain, Catherine Tate, Ad Fab, you know, so that's why I'm asking.
It's
Lower Umpton. I like, there's so many different things that I have in my head, but I know that there's a little bit of everything. It all exists. So
it's how do I don't want to insult my people. I don't want to insult any Brummies out there. I don't want to insult you. Yeah, it's not the most affluent of accents. Okay. It's not the Queen's English.
Is it batteries? Is it like that? Or
Brummy accents, they sound a bit like you've got no neck. You know, like you're going to go down to the pub for a pint.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right.
Because most of Birmingham, you know, you've got like in the west of Birmingham, you've got a place called the Black Country. And the Black Country, people are like, oh, what's called the Black Country for? But like back in the day, like the Industrial Revolution, you know, that's where like people go up chimneys.
So it's like old worldish almost?
It's all, right? Yeah, you could say that, yeah. However, and also Birmingham in the 60s had this big, so it was a very industrial city for the Victorian times. And I'm giving you how much time do we have?
No, don't worry.
And then in the 60s, it became like this new cosmopolitan metropolitan. No, I can't even fucking say the word. But everything was concrete. And now they're finally getting rid of all this concrete, and they're building these really structurally controversial buildings that are really beautiful if you love architecture, but people are like, oh, it's an eyesore, but actually it's just modern technology, modern architecture. And it's I go back there now, and I really enjoy going back to that city and traveling to so many different places. I really appreciate and respect what Birmingham has become. Yeah. So it is nice. But so it was I had a really good upbringing. Which I'm really grateful for, and it's not really until later on down my 20s and coming into the industry and meeting so many people, and so many people have a story to tell, and I'm really engaged with that because I do learn from others. So I appreciate actually how good an upbringing I had compared to so many people who didn't. And I count my blessings, and it's got to the point now where I've gone back to my parents and I said, well, thank you. Thank you for what you've done, and how, you know, I came out when I was 15, they had no issue with it.
So they were very supportive from the beginning.
Yeah.
It's not like a broken home story where, you know, you have to leave and find glory and fame and all this crazy stuff.
I mean, I left home and found glory holes, if we're talking about glory, but, no, it was, I was a swimmer. So my parents were I was a swimmer from the age of 3 to 16. And then after that, I was a ballroom and Latin dancer from 16 to 22 kind of thing. So I was my parents they didn't push me. They made sure I swam. They sometimes I don't want to go swimming today. Like, you're going swimming. So they pushed me, but not for their own benefit. Not like I don't know,
like they're living through you or anything. It was
exactly. It wasn't like that, but they made sure. But that in turn, because I was swimming so much, I wasn't on the streets. You know, I wasn't sitting at home playing video games all the while. I was very active, and my nan, so my mum's mum, my nan lived with me. So she stayed at home, did all the cooking and cleaning, and took me and my brother to school so my parents could go and work. And therefore my parents, they worked really, really hard. So, you know, and like my dad would work night shifts just so me and my brother had nice things and we could go on nice family holidays, and they had new cars every couple of years. And, you know, it nothing special. I could show you the house I lived in on Google Maps, and it's just nothing special.
So it's like a working class upbringing. Okay.
So yeah.
Do you, do you attribute the swimming to your swimmer's body?
Yes.
Yeah, okay. Because your body's absolutely beautiful.
So thank you.
Not to objectify you just for that. This is the reason why, you know, there's more to you than just your very nice body. You have a very good look. To me, I think the minute you opened your mouth and you just said a couple of things, I was like, okay, this guy has a story. He's very interesting. I want to talk to him. I want to know more, which is why, you know, why we're doing this. But, so you attribute, the dancing and also swimming, keeping you in shape, keeping you fit?
Yeah, absolutely. There's a photo that I found, I dug out. I'm not sure. Definitely put it on my Instagram. I'm not sure if I put it on my Twitter, but it's, I was part of a 4-boy relay race, and we were, the 4 of us were put together when we were 9, and up until when we all kind of like fizzled out at 16 and we all went our separate ways kind of thing, because we had different interests when you were a teenager. The 4 of us had never lost a relay race. And there's a photo of us when we're 16. And if you look at, I've got this 6-pack as a 16-year-old. I didn't really think anything of it, but then we all did, because we were swimming. And we were training 8 times a week.
It was normal
we were
for
at
you, right?
Galas and competitions all the time. So, and then of course, going into Latin dance, you've got to really hold your core when you're moving, especially things like cha-cha, rumba and stuff like that. Jive is really, really high cardio kind of dance. So it's always maintained. It's probably not though until maybe the last couple of years, and especially being in the industry now, where and now that I'm full time and I'm self-employed, I get to choose when I go to the gym and you know, and work around the clock. So I guess I've finessed it now. What is your gym schedule like? I go every day.
Every day?
Yeah.
How long?
I go for maybe 2 to 2.5 hours.
Okay.
That being said, though, do I spend most of it on social media? Yeah. But it's actually a really positive space for me. And I tell people this because, and especially before Christmas, because everyone gets to January and they have these post-holiday blues, don't they? They're like, oh, it's cold, it's January, it's depressing, all the party season's finished. And I'm like, well, if you go to the gym, everyone goes to the gym in January because they feel like that's what they should do. But if you start maybe in September, October and get into the swing of it, you're going to get to January and then you're going to go to the gym and you're going to be in a really healthy, positive place. Because I see it as like, rather than going home after work where it's cold and it's like you've got to compete with traffic, and go somewhere where it's bright and it's light and there's music and there's energy and there's people, and focus on the positive stuff. So I love going to the gym because it's just, I'll focus on lots of different things. I've started doing my stretches now. So it's not an ambition to get into the splits, but I'd like to be a little bit more flexible.
It's like before or after workouts?
Mainly after.
Like usually what people say you should do, like, you know, stretch your muscles out and stuff. Like, cause I know a lot of people go to the gym and they, you know, they walk in there for like 45 minutes to an hour, they get their workout done and then they just leave. Or they have a shake, you know, they feed their muscles like that. Yeah. But really you should be stretching them out.
You should always be doing your stretches anyway, but the stretches I'm really doing, like the flexes I'm doing, is like almost as though if I'm training to kind of get into the splits. But but then this is the power of other people influencing me. No one's telling me to do it, but I see other people doing it. I'm thinking, well, actually, if they're doing it, then I want to do it. Like, but not because I want to compete with them, but because I want to better myself. And focus on my health. And also I'm focusing a lot of core work on like the Boso balls and stuff, as well as doing now a little bit more running and spin. I've always been very cardio based, so it's good to make sure I'm still doing a little bit of that and getting all the heavy weight training in. So it's like trying to then take a gym session and break it down into segments. So I'm kind of focusing on an all-rounded, and that's why I'm there so long. And then of course, by the time you end up taking a call from someone or...
So, taking a call, you also escort?
I do.
Okay.
Yeah.
When did you get into escorting? Was it before porn or?
It all started at the same time.
Same time?
Really. Yeah. You got to imagine, like, so before the 9th of September 2017, that was the day I was in a vanilla relationship. Like, I had never had a threesome. I had never been fisted. I never worn rubber. I've never been to a circuit party. I've never been to a sex party. I've never done anything. And then literally, the relationship came to a close, which was my decision. And it's all happened since then. So what you see now is literally just 2.5 years.
Wow.
So
that's a lot of growing into yours.
Right, I know. Yeah, I just dived in the deep end.
How did the fisting come about?
Again, it's something that I just saw. I was following a particular performer on social media, on Instagram, before porn. And I was following him, and I was following his work. And he was very much into rubber, and he was into fisting. So then, of course, you start Googling his name, and then I started finding other videos and this, that, and the other. And then I'm like, there's a curiosity. Am I into this? Am I interested? And actually I found out I was jerking off to it. Like, so I want to give it a go. So yeah, I started trying out for it. I started training for it.
Yeah.
With a regular partner in 2018, very early 2018. It took me a couple of months, but then I finally got that fist in. And then literally I got a call. I put a little, this is how crazy it is. I think it was the 6th of April. I don't know why I remember these dates. They're just so prominent, right?
That's good.
6th of April, I took a fist. I jotted it down and put it on the calendar. And every year I celebrate with a rosebud cake. It's red velvet. Oh my gosh. Christ. I have such a vivid imagination.
Yeah.
So, so the 6th of April, 2018, I posted a small, 1.5 minute clip of me taking a fist for the first time. That went onto Twitter. And then some random person on Twitter who follows me, tagged in Tom Moore, who's a director that does the fisting videos for Club Inferno.
Okay.
So this person just tagged Tom Moore and saying, "Oh, get Drew in for a fisting." And the next thing I know, Tom's messaging me.
Awesome.
And then I think it was the 3rd week of May, literally a month and a half after taking my first fist, I'm being flown into Las Vegas to do a fisting scene. Wow. So of course I've kept it up since then.
And you were ready for it? Because I know, like, when I was working with Matthias von Fistenberg, who Dark Alley was, they started their niche in hardcore porn. We didn't hire people unless they had fist for breakfast, which you kind of like dick for breakfast. You kind of want to know that they can do it. What I wanted to ask you though was, because you have to prep for that. You have to do stuff. I'm just about finishing the first season of these podcasts. Yeah. I want to introduce something in the next season called How to Bottom Like a Pro.
Okay.
So I want to ask a lot of, I've seen you do verse. You're pretty verse, right?
Yeah.
But you prefer the bottom.
I prefer bottom. I am verse. I guess because in my relationships in my 20s, I was always verse. I never even knew a label was a thing, right? No. I love to bottom, but yes, I occasionally I'll top.
Okay. So the only reason why I threw that in there because I wanted to ask you, in this segment, I would like to call it How to Bottom Like a Pro.
Okay.
And ask, pretty top tier bottoms what their routine is. Like how can share with people, cause I've met a lot of people that either don't know what they're doing as bottoms, people outside of like the industry and stuff, but it's always interesting to see because I've seen people that will walk in and they need to use the bathroom and clean out for 2 hours before the scene, which kind of sucks. And then people that are just ready to go. Like they walk in and do their paperwork, they're making out and fucking in like 5 minutes. Yeah. So what is your, when you go to a shoot, what does your routine look like before?
So I do take fiber supplements.
Okay.
Every day. That is always going to speed up your clean out process. I always use a shower douche. I don't use enema bottles or a squeezer bottle. They're fine. if you know that you're just going to have a quick hookup type thing, but I don't take anything to chance. I like to jump in the shower, and I actually take my time. Like this morning, before coming here, I I jumped in the shower. I put on some music, so that really helps relax. I put some music on, and I'll also have my phone somewhere on a windowsill. So sometimes I'm just like, I'm on Twitter or whatever while I've got a douche at my house. And I have a mixture of positions where I'll go from squatting to like raising up one leg, just really getting into that. Because I actually do a deep douche every single time, even if this is, even if it's just going to be like a quick 20-minute fuck, I will douche as if I'm going to get fisted. Because to be fair, I mean, I'm going to be good now for the next 24 to 48 hours, right? So after this, I'm going to go and get some more dick. Like, I'm ready.
So you're not thinking about just the scene.
Oh, no, absolutely. You've got to think ahead. No, I will. So then I'll also take a toy into the shower with me because having a toy doesn't have to be a massive dildo. It can just be like a small 5-inch, 6-inch. And just using that will just... it will use it as a vacuum and it will pull out all your kind of debris. So
It's a good way to put it. Yeah.
Absolutely. So that's my... Everybody's different. Everybody's body is different. So you have to get into a routine and figure out, but make time for it. Just don't rush. And when you think you've done it, the chances are there's a little bit left to do. But also, if you're talking about how to bottom like a pro, you just if for people who are trying to do more bottoming, I always say invest in some good toys. They don't have to be the biggest toys, butt plugs.
Okay, to train or to train. Okay.
I find butt plugs are the good thing just to help stretch. You don't have to worry at this stage, early stage. You don't have to worry about taking length or anything, but you need to focus on not being so tight. Because if you're tight to start with, it doesn't matter how big that dick is, it's not going in, right? And actually being able to just walk around the house, make a cup of coffee, watch some TV, just leave it in there, just relax and allow yourself to stretch that way. And then start focusing on toys. But you don't have to like do these long drawn out toy sessions.
Yeah, because I would think that kind of hurts you after a while, right? Like you're getting ready for taking a dick and then you hurt yourself with a toy in your ass and then you can't really do it. Yeah,
absolutely. And of course you got to remember that inside everyone's different. So I find the best way for me to take really big dicks is for me to ride and to straddle and sit, because that's the way my chamber goes, right? Like the chamber of secrets.
Do you eating? Before a scene? I know a lot of people that don't eat for like 2 or 3 days. No? Okay.
No,
you take care of that.
I didn't eat this morning. I won't eat the morning of a scene. I won't. And then I'll get to a scene and I tend to rely on just Red Bull for sugar and water for hydration. Okay. That's my thing. But did I eat last night? Yeah, actually, I was out last night. When I got home, I had a cake. I was hungry. I wanted a cake. Yeah. Eat it because I know... because I know my douche routine. I know how long it's going to take me. I know when my body has got to the point of when it's going to be ready. So, and yeah, I'm not going to starve myself. Yeah. And as I said, if you are, the fiber helps. Taking fiber supplements will help. Okay. Don't eat quinoa. Quinoa, honestly, that just goes straight for you. And mushrooms. Oh, my God. And rice. Oh, actually, what else? Bulgur wheat. Yeah, all these things. Okay, so stay away from that. Well, obviously, they're healthy for you. But, like, they could be up there for days. Oh, my gosh. How crass of me. Well, you know what? It's appreciated. I'm sure there's somebody out there that's taking notes and will be like, okay, wow, this is what he does. It's kind of like workout routines. It really is. Yeah, absolutely. So I'm curious. So now you have popped my cherry for how to bottom like a pro. No longer a virgin. Yeah. So for the rest of like the year, right? 2020, we're in. What do you want to do?
What else are you trying to explore in the industry? Outside of the industry, like tell us something that you're really looking forward to this year and the coming years.
So at the back end of last year, I had a really great experience and opportunity to work with one of my favorite directors. And I wrote a script for men.com.
Okay.
And it was all very last minute, but we did it. And it was a 3-part series, and it came out last year. It was called Refuge. And I wrote that.
Really?
I wrote a
check it out.
script.
Yeah.
I wrote characters. I wrote direction, and I co-directed. So it was with Alter Sin, who obviously films out in Barcelona.
Yeah.
And of course, he had all the equipment, and I let him kind of take the lead when it came to like all the sex scenes and stuff. But in terms of the B-roll and the acting, I very much got with the performers and told them how I wanted it to be delivered. And we took a couple of takes, and I'm like, I think you've still got 10% more in you. I think you've got a little bit more in you.
Wow.
This is, and to really, to draw out some of the real performance side of it. Because with a lot of the traveling I was doing last year, I was, when you're sitting on planes and you don't have any Wi-Fi, or, sometimes, you're on a train or whatever, I'll be sitting there and I'll be listening to music, and music inspires me, and there might be a song that really inspires, and then I'll start jotting down notes on my phone. And I always enjoyed creative writing in school. So I would start creating these scenarios and these scripts and these projects. And then it was just a passion project for me. But then that opportunity came up and it went well, I'd like to think, hopefully, fingers crossed.
Yeah, well, it got made.
It got made. And then, so it has kind of encouraged me to do a little bit more of it. So maybe this year I would like to see something like that come to light. But rather than it being such a last minute thing, actually something that I get to work on the project a little bit more long,
like pre-production and then
exactly, maybe like casting, and finding, and really working with the studio, whichever studio that may be. So I would like to. That's definitely a project I'd like to focus on this year. I'm going to. Yeah. So apart from that, that's probably the big key one.
That's big. I didn't know that you were a creative writer. That's amazing. That's really cool. It's not easy.
I'm not going on record to say I am a writer, but I wrote something.
Yeah.
And we got it done.
Yeah, that's hard. That's very, very hard.
So yeah, if you want to see the scene, it's at men.com. Refuge Part 1, 2, 3 with Ricky Blue, Tyler Berg, and Max Adonis. So yeah. That's exciting. Anyway, so I'm doing Darklands in Antwerp this year, which is Antwerp Fetish Pride. That's the first weekend of March. So it's the first time I'm going there, and I'm performing over the weekend. I'm going down to Puerto Vallarta for the first time to film for Lucas Entertainment next month, which is really exciting. So yeah, there's these new adventures, I guess, new locations and more new people to meet and see, and which is exciting.
Do you want to get behind the camera?
Not yet.
Not yet?
No,
Okay.
I'm an exhibitionist.
Yeah.
I want to be in front of the camera.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah. It's my I take such great pride in my work, and I take everything that's being produced now, and I get it, and I look at it when it comes back, and I'm very analytical of the stuff, and what I cocould do better and what I could do less of. And
so you watch your scenes?
Yeah.
Okay.
I do. I watch all of it.
Not a lot of people do. That's awesome.
And sometimes, a lot of the time I'll go and get myself like a subscription to the website. I'll get a subscription, even if it's just like a 1 or 2 day trial, and it's like $1 or something.
Yeah,
I will do it.
They need to. The studios need to work on that with their models. I think they should. If you've worked on the scene, I think they should give models like a week-long pass, so that way they can go and see their scene at least. Because if not, I've had situations where people are like, "Oh yeah, I saw the scene we shot," and I'm like, "How'd you do it?" "Oh, I found it on Pornhub, or I found it on whatever, some site that was streaming it or stealing it."
You're not going to that way. If you've got access to the site, you're more likely to promote the site. I always promote the sites with all the stuff. I've all the content up. I will try and promote the director on Twitter and also the site along with the other models. that's what I try and do. So I think it's fair.
So when people want to find you, where do they go?
So first of all, they go to the local bathroom store, and my number will be etched into the door. If there's a glory hole, I might be on the other side of it. So, always working. You can head to Twitter, Drew Dixon, XXX. And I'm on Instagram, drewdixon.official. I have got my fan sites with just for fans, /Drew Dixon XXX. And a Google search.
Yeah. Whenever I'm at a loss for like a picture, when someone's like, "Oh, can I see the model?" I'm like, Drew Dixon, gay porn, Twitter or images, and comes right up.
There I am.
Yeah.
I know. Mom, don't Google me.
That's one question I wanted to ask. Your parents cool with it?
Yeah.
Awesome.
They are so supportive.
Yeah, that's very cool.
I count my blessings. Like the other day before the Straight Up Gay Porn Awards, my mum messages me saying good luck. And she'll say she was proud of me. And it's funny because I have all like, if anything, anyone's sending me anything like gear or whatever, I have it sent to my brother's work address because I'm nowhere around to sign for things. So I send it to him, and I'll say to my brother, I'm like, yes, you can open this parcel, or no, don't open this parcel. And people at his work follow me. Like it's
really? I love it. Yeah.
It's really good. But the thing is, like with my mom, because I'm on a plane all the time, it's like I'll just screenshot my boarding pass. I'm like, this is where I'm going. She wants to make sure I'm traveling okay. She wants to make sure I'm getting to my destination safely. So that's why she takes.
She's a mum.
She is, yeah. But she's always been she's always been like, as long as you're happy. That's all she ever. And again, this is when I come back to how grateful I am. I am so grateful. And I just for having that, because people don't.
I think your upbringing shows in your work,
right,
and your work ethic. So
yeah, I definitely feel like I bring what they've taught me to the table. Yeah, so
sweet. I'm not going to take up too much of your time. We have a scene coming up with you and Danny Blue for Treasure Island.
I am ready.
That'll be fun. That'll be fun.
Ready.
But before we go, I just want to say, guys, if you're listening and you like what we do, please by all means follow us on any podcast directory that you can find. We also put these up on YouTube, and by we I mean me. It's basically just
yeah.
Except there's a we. It's just
we have
me.
a whole team behind us.
It's me. I like to call it a dog and pony show because it's basically what it is. It's not even a soundstage. I have.
Is that a train?
Yeah, it's right down there.
They have trains in Vegas?
Yeah, it's running right down there.
Wow.
Yeah.
Oh, it's a freight train.
Yeah, it's a freight train too on top of that.
That's my nickname.
Yeah.
People just load things into me.
So yeah,
ship me off. Anyway,
so yeah, I know. Back into it. Like I said, just
literally
like everything.
Back onto it.
click subscribe. Show us support, and this is Demystifying Gay Porn. I am your host, IK Grande. My guest today was Drew Dixon, and like he said, follow him on his Twitter, follow him on his just4.fans page. Watch his porn. Don't steal it.
You've been watching Demystifying Gay Porn. I am your host, Ike Grande. Demystifying Gay Porn is available wherever you get your podcasts, as well as YouTube. Demystifying Gay Porn is on X, Instagram, Facebook, Telegram. And if you like what you're watching or listening to and want to be a part of the creative process, head over to patreon.com/demystifyinggayporn, where you can help support this audiovisual podcast and YouTube channel, and I can continue making content like you've just enjoyed. Once again, this is Demystifying Gay Porn. My name is Ike Grande, and if you watch gay porn, I've definitely helped you get off. Cheers.